Please take a moment to listen to this important message, which will help you get the most out of your Tracki. GPS tracker's functionality depends on many unpredictable elements, so understanding these variables will help you achieve the most successful outcome with your tracker. GPS satellites broadcast from 70 million feet, high above in space. The level of the signal that reaches the Earth is very faint and cannot always be easily detected. Also, the signal can be easily obstructed by trees, tall buildings, and reflections from structures and hills. Most times, the GPS signal can be received inside or under a car. However, the results of the reception are not always predictable. Tracki GPS trackers need to receive signals from at least 3 satellites. Once one of the 3 essential satellites is blocked by any kind of obstacle, the location cannot be estimated fast enough. The CPU and the receivers in the Tracki GPS tracker work very hard to find and calculate the tracker's location, which may not always be successful. As you've probably experienced, even GPS navigation systems in a car sometimes give you the wrong or delayed guidance. Another variable is the signal level of the GSM cellular network being used to report the tracker's location to our servers, which can be worse in rural areas. As you know, cellular reception can vary all the time. You may stand in one spot and not hear the other party, and then just move a little bit and get a better connection. The "can you hear me now" syndrome. The same thing happens with GPS trackers. The only problem is there's no human feedback to realize you need to move around in order to be connected to the network. The GPS tracker is receiving whatever it's receiving from its random location, and therefore sometimes the connection to the cell tower is unstable or non-existent, which in these scenarios you will get some laggy reports, inaccurate and inconsistent tracking. The Tracki GPS tracker is the smallest tracker out there, and therefore cannot contain a large battery. Understanding the circumstances that force the battery to drain is a big part of successfully maximizing the battery performance. Tracki contains 4 types of receivers: the GPS receiver, the GSM receiver, the Wi-Fi receiver, and the Bluetooth receiver, in order to help identify the device's location in various scenarios. All these receivers, processors, and the added GSM transmitter put a strain on the battery. When the reception is bad, all processors and transmitters need to work longer in order to figure out where the tracker is located. This additional strain causes the battery to drain faster than in normal situations, where the device location is easily fixed. Another critical element in consuming the battery power is the amount of work we expect the electronics in the device to do. Some features require more energy, for example, speed alerts, fence alerts, and very frequent tracking. All of these can add to quick consumption of the battery. So if you don't need these features, best to turn them off and reduce the reporting frequency, which can help you maximize the battery life. When the device is placed with a magnet under a car, it may experience extreme temperatures coming from the car engine. These high temperatures can also shorten the battery life. When the chemicals inside the battery heat up, the battery will discharge much quicker. Car engines generate extremely high temperatures that you may not feel inside the car. The cooling air is coming to the engine from the front grille and exiting from under the engine, flowing 100% of this heat to under the car. When the device is located here, it absorbs all this extreme heat. When placing a device under a car, we highly suggest you place the device as far away from the exhaust or the engine to avoid as much of this heat as possible. While the device is under the car, it will still receive the GPS signals, which can make the tracker work efficiently enough. However, these signals are already blocked by the car body, and therefore the accuracy and the response time of the tracker may be affected. Once coupled with all the other variables, such as trees, tall buildings, or sometimes very heavy low-hanging clouds that can partially block the radio waves coming from space and reduce accuracy, as well as making the device electronics work harder, trying to figure out the location, and doing this consuming battery in an accelerated fashion. Tracki, being the #1 best-selling GPS tracker on Amazon, gets a lot of great 5-star reviews, but also a few unhappy voices which have experienced the above without understanding the cause. We kindly ask, when you're about to form an opinion about Tracki, please understand that accuracy and battery life are the result of the compounded scenarios we have just described. If you have any issues with battery life or accuracy, please call us so we can assess the situation. In any case, we will gladly replace for free any device with which we feel like is not functioning correctly. Please be patient with us, as we are trying to do our best to make our GPS trackers function at their best, with all of the wildcard situations explained.